this is mouth-watering, isn't it, this clash? Saturday night, Allianz Stadium. I guess it's a surrogate home for the mighty Rabbitohs. Don't know how the Sharks fans feel about that, but it is what it is, the brand new shiny stadium there at Moore Park. Well, Steve Maven, 89 appearances for the Bunnies and now a host of Rabbitohs TV. You can get it on the podcast app, and I believe you can stream it on YouTube. He's on the line right now. Evening, Maves.
Hello, mate. How you going?
I'm going very well. Thank you so much for your time. I was just saying earlier, this game, I keep flip-flopping. I said Souths. There's something about how they fought off the arch rivals, the Roosters, and, Cody was flying and Latrell was flying. That left edge just looked so slick. And then I thought, well, you know what? For Cronulla and Fitzy in their first year to finish second, what an organised football team they are. I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it?
It is. Well, first of all, the Roosters clash. What a game that was.
Astonishing.
That was something else.
Have you seen a game like that in your lifetime? Have you been involved in a game that remotely resembles what you saw on Sunday?
No, well, we always used to fire up when we played the Chooks, but no, nothing like that. That just had a bit of everything. It just the send-offs, the sin bins, and some of the footy play. It was just a brutal encounter, and it'll long live in my memory, that's for sure. But I think, look, we were up for that. We showed so much passion. Like Latrell Mitchell, you saw how emotional he got after the game, and Cody Walker 4 try assists. Cameron Murray, it just showed how much we missed him when he got knocked out the week before. He had a hand in 3 tries. He just creates space for Cody, and he cuts people in half in defence. He leads by example. So we've got the key guys in the key positions, and if we can take that performance into this Sharks class, and yes, I hear what you say. They have played well all year. They did run second. The game we played against them earlier in the year, we got beaten, I think, Golden Point and a couple of field goals that didn't go over. So we could have won then, and we didn't. But look, it's going to be a big game. Allianz Stadium, I was there for the game in the week before, and what a stadium it is, a packed house. I think we need to go back there. My opinion is, we're building a centre of excellence at Maroubra. And, we're sponsored by the Juniors Kingsford on our show, and the light rail goes right from the club to the door to Central, and so there's some good transport options, and it's, and the South fans will fill it up, and they love the area. So I just think, hopefully they can get something sorted where we can work out to play some more games there. But Saturday night's going to be a big one, mate.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that too. It's interesting. I had a devoted Souths fan call this program a couple of weeks back. And am I right in saying, Steve, that it was put to the members some time back, where would your preference be at a core Allianz? And I guess from a practical point of view, an access point of view, they voted in favour of a core. Is that right?
Well, I'm not sure what the exact numbers were, but I know there is a lot of supporters at the club that do prefer a core because we've got Rabbitohs fans from all over town and coming from up and down the coast. And obviously, you've got the train goes there and that sort of stuff. But look, I just think you can't deny that the great city of Sydney is a great place to visit. And, you can get, like I said, you got the light rail and there's a lot of beautiful hotels. And, it's the light rail is so good. I mean, we got straight on the light rail from the Juniors Kingsford, and you didn't have to wait, and then when the game finished, we got straight back on, because rather than waiting for a bus that takes 60 people, these can get whatever it is, a couple of hundred people on them. So it's moving a lot of people, and I just think, I mean, I'm biased because I grew up in Botany and played at Redfern Oval, and South Sydney. This is our turf. And I just think that look, we're still going to be playing games at Accor. The selected games against the Bulldogs or whoever, and some of the semi-finals. So. Yeah, I just think we need to go back there. And I'll be there on Saturday night. I'm looking forward to it. It's a great stadium to watch footy, and but the Bunnies, we're going to be at training tomorrow. Like you said at the start, we've been doing a lot of live streaming, so we live stream the start of the session for a lot of the fans that can't get there, and we'll be keeping an eye on the 17. Now, obviously, big Thomas Burgess has copped that suspension, and there was a petition to let him play because the precedent was set with Taylor May, and it didn't happen.
No, not for lack of trying, mind you. But how big an out is Tom? Obviously, he can't replace him. Michael Cam comes into the squad. Does it change up much the approach of Demetrio?
Well, look, Thomas Burgess has had perhaps his best season this year. He's given us so much punch off the bench, and whether he starts or comes off the bench, he's 120 odd kilos, and he's been holding the ball and making breaks. And I think in the Cronulla game, he made one of the great runs, and put us in position to kick a field goal, and we just couldn't take that advantage. So, yeah, he's been playing well. So, yes, he is very hard to replace. But, Cheekham gets his chance, and he's got a lot of experience, and he went pretty good when he came on last week. And, our bench has still been pretty solid with Liverhavili and also Hame Sele. So they've both had good seasons. So our bench has been solid. And, obviously our back three is going to hold the key. Chai Arrow, Kean Kalamatangi, and like I mentioned, Cameron Murray, they play big minutes and, all great defenders, great attackers. That's going to hold the key. But, the way Latrell Mitchell's playing, since he's come back from that trip to Philadelphia, and, he worked with the Bill Knowles over there, and he worked wonders with him, and he's got a whole new mindset. And I just think it means a lot to him to play in this final series after missing the last two. So, last week scored a try, kicked, didn't miss a goal, set one up. So when we're getting that sort of production out of our big fullback, and Cody chiming in, setting up tries, I think we're going to be very hard to beat. No one's ever won this. No one's ever won the NRL Premiership from outside the top four, and all that means is someone's got to do it eventually.
So, someone's got to be the first.
One of the Bunnies.
Yeah, they match up so well, these teams, and particularly the Packs. But you're talking about Latrell. Hey, did you get any rationale as to why he booted the ball away on a zero?
Yeah, well, JD was asked that, and they planned to do it a bit earlier to turn them back on their feet. And by the time of the third set, it wasn't really on, but Latrell did it anyway, and gifted them a bit of field position. Luckily, it didn't backfire, but we think it's good that JD and the coaching staff are trying a few things out of the box, not just going through the motions. They're a good team there with Benny Hornby and Johnny Morris, and they've got a great coaching staff, and there's just a good feeling around the club at the moment. We've been through a bit of adversity. We lost Latrell for a while, and we finished seventh. And people have written us off, but the Sharks, I think they'd be pretty worried come Saturday night that there's a storm coming for them. Steve,
at the start of the year when Souths were not really stringing it together and conceding a lot of points, so was there still a real sense of belief in the club that, given a new coach and obviously a new halfback and Lachlan this year, that it was going to take time for everything to come together, and that the idea was to peak at the back end of the season?
Well, I think so, yeah. And look, there's still been some great performances throughout the team, like Campbell Graham. He came back successfully and had a blinder the other night, in the right centre, and Lockie as well. Look at his defence. He bounced back after the week before. He probably had a game that he would like to have had back, and Crichton sort of got through him there on the edge, but he was solid as in defence the other night. Maybe a couple of little errors, but yeah, he's got a heap of potential. And so I think so, yeah, that halves pairing's taken time to develop. And, like I said, another bloke that I haven't mentioned is Junior Totola, who's had a great season.
Yeah.
He won the George Piggins medal as the best in Paris player. So, he's gone through one of his best seasons. So, yeah, look, we've still got the talent there to do it. And, getting all the simple things right are key as well. Like, we completed up to 90% into the second half last week. So if this team can hold the ball, keep the penalties down, and defend like they did, they only let 14 points into a Roosters team that had plenty of points in them. Then get all those things right, they can just about beat anyone on their day.
You mentioned the coaching staff there, Benny Hornby, or the assistants rather, Benny Hornby, John Morris. How much of an advantage is it to have John Morris there in the coaching ranks, considering his ties to the Sharks?
Well, I don't think it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And having a bloke that used to coach first grade, I mean, that's quality in your right hand man. And Benny Hornby as well. He's been great. He's a grand final winner. He's played half and fullback, so he knows his way around the footy field, and also he's a great coach. So yeah, I think it's a bit of a dream team really. And they're talking about re-signing JD because he's a good bloke too. So we love him on our show. We've had him on for an interview, and he's very approachable. Like it was a little bit hard to get hold of Super Coach Wayne Bennett at times, but JD is he's very, very approachable, and I think he's just the right guy at the right time for this team. And yeah, fingers crossed that they get out there and get it done on Saturday night, and then they meet. You know, it's a grand final replay if we take on the Panthers at Acor.
Yeah.
That's a whole different ball game. But
Yeah.
I think if we can get through that one, I'm not getting ahead of myself too much. If we can get through that one,
No, that's all. Forget Cronulla and Penrith. I'm not getting ahead of myself.
No, and then we've got. Well, I am.
Yeah.
We got either the Cowboys, Parramatta, or
Canberra,
Raiders,
yeah.
who, you know. So those three teams, I think we can compete quite well with. So if we do happen to get to the big dance, look out.
Yeah.
Number 22 in 2022 is completely possible.
It is. I'm glad you mentioned Bennett and Demetrio, because quite often it's difficult, isn't it, following the footsteps of the master coach? And historically, the clubs or coaches that have taken over have had somewhat of a dip. But it seems to me that they handled the transition there at Souths from Wayne to Jason better than I've seen at other clubs.
Yeah, well, I have heard that there's a dip whenever, you know, Bennett leaves and he takes all these players. But I think, you know, that JD's done a fantastic job getting the team to where they are this season. Obviously, we didn't finish in the top four like we have done. So, but you know, our best player was out for a couple of months, Latrell Mitchell, and you know, the guys that come in and did the job, and we still made the finals now. And yeah, like I said, there's high hopes that we can make a deep run into the finals. And yeah, but well done to JD. We love him at the club, and hopefully he's there for many years to come, and there'll be plenty more finals appearances for this team, and you know, hopefully we get back to that top four next year and beyond.
Yeah. Steve, on the text line, Jack asks, can you ask Steve, was he really at the pub across South Dowling watching the second half of that fateful semi with the Souths punters?
Yeah, well, yeah, I was. I was only a 19-year-old fella at the time, and I regrettably left the field before the game was over, and then ended up at the Cauliflower Hotel. So yes, that is a true story. I walked in, and one of the blokes said, "What are you doing here? The game's still on." So yeah, in hindsight, I wish I'd have stayed there with my teammates and took the loss and being replaced on the chin, but it didn't happen. And you know, we had a bit of drama with young Jackson Polo during a few weeks back, and there was a little article written by a couple of journos about comparing that I've been through a tough time and so has he. But I ended up seeing Jackson at training, and we shook hands, and I said, "Mate, plenty more good footy to come for you." And he said, "Oh, I saw the article." So, you know, I just feel like I'm glad I could say, you know, chin up, mate, and you know, there'll be a future after that for you.
Yep, no doubt. I drove past the Cauliflower the other week too. Still going strong. All right, mate. Before I let you go, what's your score prediction Saturday night?
We got asked on the show in our live chat the other day. I said 28-10, so 13 plus. If this side can go out and hold the ball, like I said, then there's plenty of points in it.
Yeah.
And, you know, Latrell Mitchell and Alex Johnson. We didn't even mention him, and he scored 30 tries in back-to-back.
I just said, you know, mate, doubles are just par for him these days, aren't they? It's frightening.
Exactly.
It is frightening.
You know, first try scorer last week, and a lot of people probably had that in the Maldives and whatever.
Bet they did.
Yeah. Our lethal left, if it clicks into gear on Saturday night, 28-10.
28-10. And Parramatta Canberra, mate, just quickly. Who do you like in that one?
Well, look, I think the Raiders have done well to get to where they are, but I think the Eels have shown during the year that they can win some big games. So I'd probably expect the Eels to get them there.
Eels, and then 28-10, South Sydney to stay alive, and then knock off Penrith and beat whoever they have to beat in the grand final. Fingers crossed for all the Bunnies fans. Steve Maven, thank you so much for your time. We'll catch you on Rabbitohs TV.
Oh, thank you, and I love all the shows at SEN. Doing a great job in there.
Thank you, mate. We love you too. Good on you. There he is, Steve Maven, former Bunnies player, and very good with his time. 0457 736 736. So there you go, Jack. Yes, he was. He was. 24 points to 13. They're getting away from us now. New Zealand lead Australia. 53 minutes gone in the second half.